Today, we'll be drawing a city skyline, and it can be inspired by a real city like these, or a slightly more fictionalized city like these, or a city straight out of your imagination. On your paper, the first thing that you'll need to do is decide whether you want your paper going sideways, horizontally, or up and down, vertically. Traditionally, landscapes like these would go side to side, but you can choose either one for your artwork. The next thing we're going to need to do is draw the horizon line. I'm going to use a ruler for this step. The horizon line is the line where the ground or the sea meets the sky. Traditionally, a horizon line is somewhere close to the middle or even slightly below the middle. So that's where I would recommend you place it. I'm going to hold my ruler down with my non-drawing hand so that I can very carefully draw a line where the horizon is. Now I'm ready to draw my city skyline above the horizon and the reflection in the water below the city skyline. If I'm looking at this for ideas, I can choose to be inspired by parts of it, or I can draw parts from my imagination, or I can combine parts. There's lots of options. When you're sketching, it's always the best idea to draw light till you get it right. If you're pressing very hard the first time, then you can't really ever erase something all the way because the paper has been gouged into. I know when I draw on the camera with a pencil instead of a marker, it's hard for you to see what I'm doing. But part of the point of this today is drawing light initially, so that if you make a mistake, you can still change it. So I'm sketching lightly, just like you should be sketching lightly. After you've drawn many different buildings above the horizon line, then we want to draw their reflection or their mirror image below the horizon line. As an example, if I were to draw a mirror image of these buildings, I would want it to be the opposite below this horizon line. So I would look at the lines and make sure that I'm doing the same as if it were a mirror image reflecting in the water. We want it to be about the same size and the same shape, although there is a little bit of artistic license because sometimes water is a little bit flowy and would make the image a little blurrier. So if your lines are a bit blurrier below the horizon, that could add to the effect. So whatever I see above the horizon line, I'm drawing below the horizon line as well. So I'm drawing both edges of this bridge and then the suspension part. But I'm intentionally using less grip on my pencil to make it look more watery, like an actual reflection. But it's reflected as a mirror image in the water, so the size and the shape are preserved roughly. That's how we can create our city skyline and the reflection in the water. Remember, when you're drawing, you're going to be using pencil and you want to draw it very lightly so that if you have a mistake, you can erase it. I only did this example in the Sharpie so that you could see it show up on the camera. I'm excited to see your own city skyline creations.